I can still remember me and Miss November rain, beautiful and strange, always so inclined, coloring outside the lines. Yeah, you were never on time.
Let's see.
You've always been slightly awkward, kind of weird, upside down and not all here. What's wrong with me and you is crystal clear.
I don't know if anybody can hear it.
Sometimes I'm in a room where I don't belong, and the house is on fire and there's no alarm, and the walls are melting too. How about you? I've never been the favorite, thought I've seen it all, till I got my invitation to the lunatic ball, and my friends are coming too. How about you? Don't worry, it's all just a symptom of being human. Unpack all your baggage, hide it in the attic where you hope it disappears.
All right. Let's
This all seems so familiar,
Slight delay.
but it doesn't feel like home.
okay. Looks like there
It's
is
just another
a
unknown.
slight delay. Sorry, playing with my headphones.
You've always been slightly awkward, kind
Thank
of
you for
weird,
your patience with
upside
this
down
very
and
first
not all
YouTube
here.
live stream that I'm
Right
doing.
or wrong, it's all so crystal clear.
The song that's near and dear to me right now, Shine Down.
Sometimes I'm in a room where I don't belong, and the house is
We're all
on
familiar
fire
with
and there's
stuff,
no
but then
alarm,
it's segued
and the
into
walls are
planning.
melting
Because we're all
too.
human and
How about
so,
I've never been the favorite, thought I've seen it all, till I got my invitation to the lunatic ball, and my friends are coming too.
and we will
How
jump
about
into
you?
Jordan's here.
Don't worry, it's all just a symptom
If you've
of
got
being
questions
human.
throughout the stream, please put it in the chat. Normally I suck at multitasking, so I will do my best to keep an eye on the chat while attempting to
Sometimes I'm in a room where I don't
streaming software
belong, and the house is on fire and there's no alarm, and the walls are melting too. How about I've never been the favorite, thought I've seen it all, till I got my invitation
Hope
to
and have
the
fun here.
lunatic
I'm going
ball,
to-
and my friends are coming too. On a ship full of fools. Don't worry, it's all
music down. Thank you for feedback. Hopefully you can hear me better now. And let's see. Again, thank you for your patience. As I said on my disclaimer, there's going to be technical difficulties, so I appreciate you guys all being guinea pigs. All right. Yeah, now you're getting a inside peek into my brain and my music and what I like to listen to. So, fun fact, Foo Fighters Everlong was going to be our wedding song. There's an acoustic version, but it was still a little too fast. So we went with Aerosmith instead. Anyway, let's get started. We've got a few people live, which is better, a lot more than I thought when I threw this out at 7:30 this morning. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jacqui 𝙿𝙤. I am a recovering perfectionist, process junkie, and productivity nerd. And I love being in good company with fellow productivity nerds. So we're going to start this assuming that you've downloaded the ClickUp template for the 12-week year. And if you didn't, that is all right. You can get that on my website. Oh, I got to figure out how to stop the music. Here we go. Oops. Ah, all right. We stopped the music, so maybe I should have something playing quietly in the background in future streams. But I probably should have had the link ready to go for you if you have not downloaded the template. I'll find that at some point. So let's just get into then what we're going to do today. So my plan for right now is I've got the blank template, and I'm going to walk everyone through how I, like literally how I do this from the very first step through the very end. One thing that really bugs me, and please let me know in the comments if you feel this way too, is you'll download a freebie off somebody's website or you'll go to a free webinar and they tell you what to do, but they don't tell you how to do it. And that really irritates me because I'm here to learn how to do something. Don't just tell me what to do. My kids hear that from me all the time. They hate it. So I want to teach you how to do this, how to use the template. So let's get into it. Again, I'm going to try to keep an eye on the comments and everything else. So I do appreciate patience and feedback at the end. Okay, where's my notes? Okay. I've got two gigantic screens, yet somehow it still seems like I'm fumbling. Anywho, we are looking at the folder. When you import the template, it's going to be a folder template. So at the folder level, we've got this overview, and it's kind of like a dashboard. If you've played with the overview yet, I really love it. It's kind of like a combination of a dashboard and action items. So we've got that. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to take you through the actual steps. Where I wanted to have my planner too. Oh, I think it's downstairs. Because even though I live and breathe and die by ClickUp, I still love my paper planner. I use ClickUp for my household projects. I assign my husband things to do in the yard and he gets mad. I manage my craft projects, my shopping lists, things I need to do for the kids, everything in ClickUp, but I still love whiteboards and paper. I'm so mad I didn't bring my planner. I took it out with me yesterday when I was out, and it's still in my briefcase. Anywho, going through the 12-week year. So the first thing you do, according to the methodology, is write down your vision. And they've got worksheets, and I'm going to make up some of my own, but whether it's a vision personally or a vision professionally, I just wanted to stop myself for a second. I'm going to go until 1:45 at the max. This should take maybe about 30 minutes depending on Q&A. So I apologize. I did want to start that with that expectation that I'm going to try to shoot for about 45 minutes at 1:45 Eastern to end this. All right, back to the agenda. We're going to write down our vision. And that's really going to be our North Star for everything that we do. In my planner, there's visions for your business and professional growth, for fitness, for spiritual, for relationships, whether that's family, friends, romantic relationships. So what is your vision for what you want your life, your business to be like? And I love that because it just creates that North Star to kind of steer you. So if you are right, you have this goal, does this goal align with your life and work vision? So I love that as a starting point. Then you're going to define what you want to achieve this year. Those are going to be your goals. So in the template, this is where we're going to write down our goals in this list right here. And please let me know in the comments if this is too small, if you need anything zoomed in, because I see it on my screen, but I don't know what it looks like for you guys. So we're going to write down our goals. And I just have this first one here for a starter today because I'm actually going to go through this with you. So we're going to write down our goals. Then we're going to assign those goals to a quarter or a 12-week year. Quarter is just easier to say. Then we're going to write down the action items to achieve that goal. Again, like I talked about last week in the webinar, a lot of us, we will write down our goals, our OKRs, and we get super excited. And 3 weeks later, we forgot they even existed. So to execute that, the how is going to be writing down actual action items to achieve those goals and then schedule them out. And there you go. So then we're going to schedule macro level, and then we're going to create our 12-week plan, and then we're going to conduct our weekly planning. So let's go through this step by step. So step 1, we are going to write down our goals. I've got this first example here of implement the 12-week year. I'm going to add them all into this grouping by quarter right now. I consider my fiscal year February, so that's why I've got it like this. When you download the template, you could come in here and edit the custom field to call this whatever you want. So here we're working out of the 2025 goals list. This is where you're going to do all of your planning. All of your planning is here, and then we'll execute in the 12-week plan list. So the next goal, let's say I want to earn my PMP. And I know there's some people here that don't believe in PMPs anymore. That could be a whole nother discussion, but maybe I want to earn my PMP. This is fictional. Maybe I want to launch a YouTube account. This was one of my 12-week year goals, and I feel like I just ran into it with no, I had a plan, and then I just decided to run into it with no plan. So this is going to help us get refocused. Then let's say a sales goal. We want to create actually our goal is going to be earn 1 million in revenue this year. Awesome. Goals can also be personal. This is one of my goals for the upcoming year. I want to train to ride a century. That is getting on your bike and riding 100 miles. I've ridden 85 miles at a time, but I love to bike. I hate to run. So that's one of my goals for this year is to run or to train to ride a century on my bike. And we'll do one more. And I want to create a system or process for a content calendar. So I feel like these are things that we can all relate to. So this is step 1, literally just writing down your goals. Don't overthink it, just write them down. What I like to do too, and one of the custom fields that I have here is called swim lane. And that is what is the area of your business that this goal is for. And for some organizations, I don't have this, maybe I should, but some organizations want to align their goals with a swim lane or a department. Like they want, let's say 50% of their annual goals to be maybe about business strategy or sales oriented or marketing oriented. So these are just mine. You can edit these in the template. So earn my PMP, that is going to be learning and certifications. Launch a YouTube account, that's going to be marketing. Earn $1 million in revenue is going to be sales. Train to ride a century, that's personal, but I don't have that here. So I'll do productivity. And create a process for content calendar, it's going to be marketing. Awesome. So almost every project I have in my workspace, I categorize by a swim lane. That way when I'm doing, well, never mind. We could talk about that another time. So first thing we're going to do is just write down your goals. Step 2 or step 1.2, we're going to prioritize these. And what I mean by prioritize is we're going to decide what 12-week year we want to achieve these goals in. And I don't recommend, or they don't recommend, more than 2 or 3 per 12-week period. I found, at least for myself, I've been doing this since April, that 2 for me is really max, especially since it's just me in the business. If you've got a larger team, you could have a 12-week year goal per department. Maybe the marketing team has their own 12-week year and the sales team has their own 12-week year. But for a small team where everybody's working together towards these goals, I would say no more than 2. So I'll leave PMP here. Maybe I want to launch my YouTube account in the summer. Actually, earning $1 million in revenue is first, so we're gonna make that a higher priority. Train for a century. Maybe I'll start that at the end of the summer, in the fall when it's not so hot, and we'll set this one for there. So that's step 2. You write down your goals, you prioritize them by quarter. So we've got that. Now we move on to step 2, which is doing the 12-week year planning. And just a reminder, in the template, I've got this document here for you. And again, you can visit, I think it's 12weekyear.com. Really simple. They've got a ton of resources, document, PDFs you can download. But I created this kind of cheat sheet for myself. So this is an embedded document from my own actual planning. So you can duplicate this in your workspace so you can make edits if you want. So here is our 12-week planning kind of steps. So I'm not going to walk through this. I'm just going to talk you through it. So we go back up here. So now we're going to create our action items because a goal is great. I want to earn $1 million in revenue. Great. But just putting it there is not going to make it happen. We need action items to get that done. So there's 2 ways we can do this. One is we can, actually, let me backtrack. If you are super ambitious and you want to tackle all of these at the same time, go for it. So we've got 6 goals. You can go through each one and write out all of your action items right now. If you want to be more conservative and take less time, we can just focus on the upcoming 12-week year. So we're going to assume that we're in January because we usually do this 2 weeks beforehand. So this one's already done for you, and I'm going to work on earn $1 million in revenue. So we're going to write down what we need to do to achieve that. And our task type here is goal because this is a filter in our dashboards. And then when we create a subtask, it's going to change that task type to key result. So what do I need to do to earn $1 million in revenue? Maybe I need to create a sales process or system. Then I need to break down the like $1 million into monthly goals. Let's say break down to monthly goals. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this to make it easier. Okay, so that's what we've done for 56. That works. So that's how we would do it manually. The next way to do it is using the ClickUp brain prompt that I created. So that is also in the planning document. So let me grab that. So that is on my other screen. So let's say I'm going to create this new goal again. Earn 1 million in revenue. Let's say you have no idea what to do to get there. Using the ClickUp brain prompt, I'm going to put my prompt here. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I'm going to write with AI. Write with AI, and then I'm going to paste my prompt. And I'm going to say I'm using the 12-week year methodology to earn $1 million in revenue. Earn. Okay, so make a plan. So we'll see what it does. Cool. So it's giving us a week by week things that we can do to achieve this. However, the goal of this, you should get to the why. The goal of this is for this to automatically make subtasks. I've tried before to do the automatic subtask generator and I didn't love it. So this is what I did. However, these are not nice and clean subtasks. Like this is not efficient or productive. So I've got a follow-up prompt that if this happens, I'm going to, let's see. So I'm going to insert this into my task description, but then I'm going to highlight it again. Then the second prompt that you're going to use is also in the document. And the second prompt is to reformat. So I'm going to copy that. It's on my other screen. This is highlighted. I'm going to click edit with AI and I'm going to format this prompt. So reformat it, remove the bullet points and do this. So I tested this a lot. So let's hope it works this time. No, it didn't do it. Oh man. So many times I tested this and I had to include this. Do not include a description. Let's see if I can tell it what to do again. Remove the, well, actually here the header and only include a line item for each week. All right, ClickUp, I'm going to have to put in, here we go. I'm going to have to put in some feedback because these prompts are not giving me consistent results. Alrighty, I'm just taking a look at the chat while this loads. I don't see anything. Hopefully it's working. All right, so here we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of these. Fantastic. But I'm going to leave this detailed information because that's still really helpful for us. So now we're going to go down to subtask and we're going to paste. ClickUp recognizes that these are 12 individual line items and we're going to paste. Ta-da! Awesome. So the less I have to use my brain, the better. Is my motto. So then what you can do if you want is then go back and grab these bullet points because that's still really helpful. I haven't figured out a way to have the bullet points be added manually, but let's say we grab this and if we go down to week 12, we can always paste that in the description. So that is how I like to use ClickUp Brain so I don't have to use my brain. All right, back off of the commercial break. Thanks, Alex. Trying to use ClickUp Brain as best that I can. All right, so now we have created our action items, at least for these two. We'll delete this one because this one's not as pretty. Delete that. Okay, so these are now all of our 2 things for the first 12-week year. One thing that I also want to make sure that I explain in order for the automations to work properly, as soon as you generate your subtasks, you're going to select all of them and bulk change the quarter to the quarter it's supposed to be. Now, what this is going to do is, because I said this is the list we plan out of, that's it. We're going to work out of the list for just that 12-week year. So the automation says that when the subtask has the quarter set. And if the quarter is February to April, it's going to then add that task to this list. So once all of our planning is done, we're going to leave this list alone and focus and only work out of this Q1 list. So we've got that. Now what? Now we're going to schedule these tasks at a macro level. What I like to do, actually, I just look at these and that's what this timeline, this is a label. And so we could say, write down our vision. And this is straight from the 12-week year methodology. And I'm going to say, write down our annual goals. For this, I'm just going to go through really quick and just do, I should have had this one pre-done. Sorry for the boringness right now. This is why I said, bring your popcorn and your coffee. But you'll see why in a minute. You know what? Let's say I want to get 2 things done in week 6. There you go. So we've got that all set. That's all we're going to do. We're not going to schedule dates. We're not going to assign it. That's all we're going to do. Because again, I feel like I like to batch my work. I feel like I get so much more done and I'm so much more efficient and productive if I batch my work. So I'm going to do all my planning up front, just planning. So we're doing this. Now we'll go to our next one. We're going to earn $1 million in revenue. We're going to, again, we're just going to assign, well, this already says the weeks. But maybe I'll get really ambitious and I'll do 2 things in week 1, week 2, maybe week 3 of my 12-week year, maybe I'm planning a vacation. That's the other reason why this is important. I usually have my calendar up on the side while I'm doing this. Again, not to actually schedule the dates I'm going to do them, but just to see, am I out of office a couple days, 1 week? Am I on a vacation? So let's say I'm on vacation and I can completely skip over week 3 if I want to. I need like Jeopardy music playing. See, these are all things I will note when I go back and watch a recording to make this more fun next time. Again, thank you for your patience. I feel like airplane, but thank you for your patience and understanding. I told you this might be like a sitcom. Alrighty. So we've got our 12 weeks of tasks. If you take a year of 52 weeks and divide it by 4, it's actually 13. So we have 12 weeks of doing things and our 13th week is for review and planning the next session. All right. So now we've got our goals, our action items to complete the goal. We've prioritized them by quarter. And at least for the current quarter, we have scheduled them per week. All the heavy lifting is done now. We have done our planning. Now we execute. So that is going to be step 2. Let me note also in this view These are our recurring tasks. Assign these to yourself when you download or when you import the template. And this is a little modified. This weekly review is a combination of the getting things done methodology, which I love and I use, and the ClickUp template for the 12-week year. In here, schedule tasks, fill out planner. I have, and where did they go? In my workspace, where's my favorites? In my workspace, I have these filtered views already done like this week. So some of these I will link to my certain views or dashboards, and that's something we can dive a little bit deeper into another time. But you do your weekly review or bi-weekly review and this. So these will recur every week. These will recur every 13 weeks. So assign those to yourself. And we've got this new chat feature here that I haven't really played around with yet, but if you're collaborating on your goals, you can chat there. All right, so we have planned. Now we get to do our first weekly planning. So before our very first 12-week year starts, like the week before. So this is real life. This is going to start for me on February 3rd, and I've mapped out every single week, 13-week section. So we are going to do work and execute February 3rd through April 25th. So we come into this list now, and this is our weekly plan. So this is literally what I do every Friday. I come in and, well, we're pretending we haven't started this yet. So we're going to do this maybe the Friday before our 12-week year starts. I'm going to come in here and I'm assuming that we're going to plan for week 1. So this is where now I have my calendar open, Google Calendar, Outlook, whatever you use. I have my planner. I'll have my personal calendar open too. And this is where we actually schedule the work. So I will look at my calendar. I'll see if I have any internal meetings, any client appointments, any doctor's appointments. Do I have to take my kids somewhere? Whatever. And I say, okay, I am going to do this on a date. So we're looking at week 1. And when I say due date, I mean DO, the date we're going to do this, because this isn't a due date like a deadline, because this is an internal due date for you to get your stuff done. So the due date that I want to do this is, I'm looking at my calendar and I want to plan this this is our first week. Maybe I want to do that on Tuesday, and we'll do this on, Wednesday, and I'll do this one on Friday. I'm going to take Friday off that week. So I'm going to do this maybe I'll do Monday. So I have an automation in my workspace, and you can customize this for yours, that when I set the due date, it's going to automatically make me the assignee. When I tested this though, I had to do a hard refresh. The automation was a little bit tricky. I had to make the automation for when the due date changes and the assignee is not set, then set the assignee. It was a little strange that it had to work that way. So ClickUp, if you're listening, I would love to have a primary trigger just be when a due date changes or when a due date is set. That's what I'd love this to be. When a due date is set, change the assignee. So there we go. And the reason I do this is because, at least in my workspace, I'm the only one in here. I don't want to have 100 tasks assigned to me with no due date. That's going to clog up my everything view or dashboards or things like that. So I don't want to be assigned until I plan a date to do this. So this is really it. This is everything that I'm going to do for my weekly plan. And I'm going to kind of put an asterisk there. I've actually shifted from weekly planning to every 2 weeks. I'm going to experiment with kind of doing my own sprints, and really from an efficiency standpoint, because if we have a 12-week year, that's 12 long, but I've got a block on Friday morning and I'm human. Sometimes things happen and I don't take that hour block to actually do this. Something else comes up or I get an idea that I want to, I think I got a notification that this got disconnected. Hopefully I'm still with you. I should have recorded this as well, but I think we're live again. Awesome. So I'm going to start switching starting, my new upcoming 12-week year starts, the first week of November. So today is Holy shit. Today is October 10th. Oh my God. So starting for my next 12-week year in November, I'm going to start doing sprint planning for myself, because then I only have to do it 6 times instead of 12 times. So also too, some weeks we're super, super bogged down. And if we look at the second week out, we might be more free. So I want to give myself a little bit more cushion in the future. Not the future, but you know what I'm saying. We'll plan less, we'll be more efficient. And it removes those kind of barriers or friction, because I'm not going to lie, sometimes Friday morning comes and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't. So if I only have to do it every 2 weeks, I'll be more likely to do it. So again, I like to plan on Friday mornings because when Monday comes, I want to have my plan. I want to have my blueprint of what I'm doing. So I do it on Fridays. And that is really it for that. What I also like to do with my planner, though, is I will write down my appointments in my calendar. In my planner, I will write down these key results that I want to achieve that week. So then we're going to go to, well, it's actually not going to work. I was going to say, next I wanted to show you how we would actually execute this, but I guess that really doesn't apply because I was going to say, oh, you go to your homepage, and if you've got that My Work card, you don't even have to think. This is on almost autopilot for you. You'll have all of your other tasks that you need to do that are not 12-week year goals. Another distinction that I'd like to make here is I'm not saying here that there aren't other tasks or other projects that are really big and really important for you. What the 12-week year does is it helps you to have laser focus on the goals or initiatives that are going to have the largest impact on your business. So you might say, coming up in November, like, I've got something that's a huge priority. I've been working on launching a new service or a new product, or I want to, I want to offer a webinar on this, or I want to start an email newsletter. That can still be really important, and that can still be something that you put in ClickUp. So this is the 12-week year is not diminishing other important projects or tasks. It's just highlighting the things that are the absolute most critical. I don't remember the name of this story, but I'm sure we've all heard this, kind of the analogy of you have a jar and you've got big giant rocks that are important things and medium ones and sand. And if you fill it up with all the little sand, you can't fill it up with your big important stuff. So this kind of addresses that. All right. So we got our planner, our daily execution. So yeah, autopilot. We've got our tasks that we've assigned to us that we just have to do on a daily basis, or somebody sends us a message that, hey, I need you to do this. Your client says, hey, I need you to do that. So your daily, everyday grind work, and then you've got your 12-week year things planned intentionally into your schedule. So now let's kind of go back to what this looks like. And now we're going to pretend that our first week is complete. We've gone through and let's look at what the dashboard looks like actually. Because in the webinar, the dashboard was not accurate. Oh, the scorecard's not working. All right, let me go back and pretend that this is for this week actually, because then it's not gonna, let's go tomorrow. And we'll set this to, tomorrow's Friday. All right, well, maybe we'll put this one here. Now, hopefully this should reflect accurately. So now if we go to our dashboard, when we do our weekly review, we do our review before our planning. This is where I like to work out of. Let me change some of my statuses. So let's say this one's done. And I have the show closed on because I always want to see what I've done. I feel like you get that little dopamine hit that you've completed something. So maybe this is in progress and this one is complete. So I wasn't perfect on my first week, but that's okay. All right, so come on, battery chart. There we go. Yay. I love when it works the way it's supposed to. So in the dashboard, this is also where you can work out of if you'd like to. So we've got our 12-week progress. So we've got 20 tasks total in the 12-week year that we're going to work on. 2 have been completed, 1's in progress. Then the scorecard is the same exact battery chart, just filtered by the due date is this week. So here we can see we've completed 2 and 1 is still in progress. So here's a little blip here of how to do your record or scorekeeping, because the 12-week year really emphasizes scorekeeping. 85% is what they consider successful. So it kind of gamifies this to just keep motivating you. I'm an athlete and I feel like having these scores just motivates me, and then you can come through and see where you've made progress, where you slumped, and things like that. So here in the dashboard, you also have just a list view of all of your tasks. So what you do for your scorecard for your weekly review. So this, I'm just going to put what was so that's the 7th. So I'm just going to pretend that this is where we are right now. So you're going to put, so also this Google sheet, the embedded version is a view only from my Google Workspace. If you use Google, great, duplicate that and then re-embed. If you don't know how to do that, I can show you really quickly. So this is a dashboard. Can I edit the dashboard? Wow, I feel dumb right now. Anybody watching me that might want to work with me is going, nope, she has no idea what she's talking about. We're not going to work with her. Why the hell won't this work? Oh, there it is. Hit the gear. So if you duplicate this into your Google Sheets, or if you want to put this in, copy it, download it as an Excel, put it in a SharePoint, put it in a box, Dropbox, wherever, you can embed the URL there. Ta-da! There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my week. So I've got 3 tasks assigned to me. I'm going to put that there. Task completed, 2. Ta-da! 67%. So what this will do then is calculate this. So at the end of the 12 weeks, you will have an average. And what I also like to do is anything that didn't get completed. So I'll click on the battery chart and I'll see which one didn't get completed. And I'll kind of do a self-assessment here. I'll say, well, why didn't I get this done? This was supposed to, that's a terrible example, tomorrow. Let's say I scheduled this for Tuesday morning and just I had a client fire, shit hit the fan, something happened and I wasn't able to do it. I can kind of self-reflect and say, okay, maybe I shouldn't have reacted to that client fire, that this is more important than the client fire. I know that's very controversial and some of you might be saying, well, no, you've got to attend to client fires first. Well, if you don't do the things that are going to have the biggest impact of your business, you're not going to have clients because you're not going to have a solid foundation of your business. You're not going to be growing their business or achieving your goals. So how can you serve your clients if you're not serving yourself? So that could be a reflection that, man, I scrolled YouTube and I got distracted and that's why I didn't do it. Or I got a new idea to make a new page on my website and I did that instead. So reflect, and then you can kind of create your own risk management plan for the upcoming week. So that is what I would do if it's the next Friday. I would do my weekly review. And then if anything didn't get done, like this guy, I would leave it in the week. I wouldn't change the label. I would just change the due date, because then that's going to affect your scorecard to then show that this is due. So pick a new date to schedule that. And then you're going to do the same thing that we did in our very first weekly plan. You're going to go to week 2 and you're going to assign due dates for week 2, look at your planner, look at your commitments, and then that will automatically assign you those tasks. All right, let me look at my notes, see what else we've got. Feel like I should get some music playing on in the background. All right, moving to class incomplete tasks. We're going to review our calendar. All right, so that is really everything. We write down our vision, our goals align with our vision. We prioritize the goals based on when we want to complete them. We write action items for each goal. We schedule those action items in a week, or we put them in a week that we want to get them done. And that's our planning. That's our 12-week planning. And then we do our weekly planning and our weekly review, and we repeat. And I will be perfectly honest, I have not executed every single week flawlessly. When you read the book, they do say your first 12-week plan, 12-week year, is really just to get into the habit. And that's why I included the task for you of how you can implement this for yourself. So that was kind of a soft goal for myself. And then I used the subsequent 12-week years like for real goal setting because I got into the habit. And it does take time. If you're not used to being in the habit of planning, like bulk planning, whether it's annual planning, semi-annual, 12-week planning, if you're not in the habit of sitting down every week and doing a reflection on what went well that week, that's the other reason I really like my planner. I think it's called Panda Planner. I'm really upset I don't have it. I wanted to show you. It is teal. It is lovely. But there's a section at the bottom for every week for reflection. What were your wins for the week? And it doesn't even have to be for your 12-week year, but maybe you landed a really high ticket client, or maybe you went for a really long bike ride, or whatever it is. What were your wins? What can you improve on for the next week? What didn't go well? Things like that. So I just like to take a little bit of time to be present, reflect on what happened, and then kind of create that little mini risk management system. And then that will help you to be more efficient and productive in the following week. Let's see, what else? What I also do, and this, we have 4 minutes left, so this is really not a topic for right now, but in my own weekly planning that I'm going to switch to bi-weekly planning, I also incorporate reviewing all of the tasks I have in ClickUp. So I use the Eisenhower matrix for the like urgent, important, not urgent, important, that sort of thing. I look at my swim lane. So I want to spend, with I have time blocks too. That could be a whole nother discussion. So I say, what's my time block for, I do client work in the morning. Because again, if I go down a rabbit hole of something else, the client work doesn't get done. So I do client work in the morning. Then what's my Monday afternoon time block? If it's business development, if it's sales, if it's services development, I look at the swim lanes because I have different views broken down by swim lanes. And then I will schedule that for Monday afternoon. If Tuesday afternoon is marketing, I look at all of my tasks that I've identified as marketing and I schedule them for that time block. So you can incorporate the 12-week year tasks with your regular tasks that you've got in the business. And so, I feel like I've just kind of rambled on about maybe some future live streams, but I hope that this was helpful for you. I do appreciate your patience with some of the technical difficulties. It's been interesting trying to juggle because there's a delay on the live and then I got everything everywhere, but I hope that this was entertaining in the least. I hope that it was helpful for you. I don't see any more questions in the chat, but if you do have questions, you can comment them comment in here later on. I'm on LinkedIn, Jacqui, LinkedIn /Jacqui Myslinski. Let's see, do I have my, there we go, Jacqui Myslinski, MYSLINSKI. Still trying to figure out how to pronounce it 10 years later. But find me on LinkedIn, email, Jacqui@productivitynerd.consulting. So where's I going with this? Yeah, so I did realize in making videos, I say yes so a lot. I need to work on that. You can visit productivitynerd.consulting to check out the ClickUp work that I do. And I also help businesses to streamline their processes and operations and create project management systems, not systems like ClickUp, but let's create a project management framework so your projects can execute, consistently, reliably with templates, automations, all that sort of thing, because you've got to have all of your business stuff, use stuff very loosely, really solidified and the foundation set outside of whatever tools that you use, because the tool is just that. It is a tool. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was entertaining. Have any questions, please reach out, and I appreciate you joining me today. Thank you.